Now today we are going to discuss a lot of theoretical topics, terms and terminologies that you are going to use in your day-to-day business life, right? So let me explain to them each and individually, every one to them. Now the sequence I have changed a bit. Sequence I have done such a manner that these all are related to each other. These are all जैसे ये घर का है, ये घर का, ये घर का and ये घर का है. Let's start from one by one each item. Correct now? Let me start first with assets. We just discussed what are assets, right? Now goods that you buy with the intention to keep in the business for a longer period of time, more than 1 year, right? It becomes a non-current asset. Less than 1 year, it becomes current asset. In simple words, you have not purchased with an intention to sell it immediately within 1 month, 2 months or 3 months. No, you have purchased it with an intention that it will remain in the business for some time. After it becomes obsolete, you may sell it off, right? Now, but that will be at what price? Scrap values or something like that, second-hand price, not with the intention to earn profit on the same. Now based on this characteristics, we have divided the assets into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories. First one, non-current assets. Second one, current assets. Now I'm going to read out these two things together for you. Non-current assets, those assets which remain in the firm for a longer period of time. These are those assets which remain in the firm for more than 8 years, 10 years. Example, land, building, plant, machinery, furniture. We don't regularly change it. We do change it. Machineries have to be changed, but only when they become completely obsolete. If they are running in a good conditions, you don't change it. Your vehicles, two-wheelers, your mobiles, right? Now, the moment you buy it, are you planning to sell it? No. It works on. You will sell it. Definitely will sell it. When will you sell it? For example, the mobile, correct now, it has to be charged 5 times in a day. Or you always have to join the power bank with it, then only it will work. Such a time what happens? It becomes obsolete. Your vehicle, two-wheeler, it hardly gives average of 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers. The running cost becomes very high. Change it. That is what we called as non-current assets. Those assets which will remain in the firm for a longer period of time. Other opposite of that is current assets. Current assets, no. It is not for longer period of time. It is for a shorter period of time. Right? For example, debtors. I have given here the example of debtors. Debtors also will appear over here. Where are they? Where are they? Here. Debtors are also over here. Debtors are also an example of what? Our current asset. Even stock is an example of current asset. Now, what are current assets? Assets which will remain in the firm, but not for more longer year. It will remain in shorter period of time, for 1 year, less than 1 year. Right? That means what? Now, let me give you an example. A customer comes to your firm. He buys goods from you and he tells you that he will pay you after 3 months. He will pay you after 3 months. So till 3 months, he is your debtor. He is your debtor and also an current asset. Also whatever current asset. So anything can come in 2-3 different categories, but doesn't make any big difference for us. Right now, who is a debtor? A person to whom you have sold goods on credit and from whom you have to collect the money. That person is considered as your debtor. Correct now? And debtor is the example of what? Current asset. Similarly, stock. Here I have written the word stock. What is stock? You purchase 10 pence. You are able to sell only 8 pence. 2 pence are still with you. What are you going to do? Are you going to throw it away? No, it is your closing stock. You will sell it tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next year. Whenever you get a chance, you are going to sell it definitely. But till that time, it is what for you? Your stock. Another example of what? Current assets. Clear? Now, there's one more simplified definition of assets. Asset can be said as anything that you own. तुम्हारे नाम पे होना चाहिए. And second, you can sell it in the market. Any such thing is an example of your asset. Clear? Various definitions are given. All meaning and understanding one and the same. Here, as I told you, these two, right? Non-current asset, it remains longer period for us, more than 1 year. Current assets, less than 1 year. Example of current assets. You know which is the biggest asset? Cash. Cash is also what? A current asset. Because, say for example, today morning, you had 500 rupees in your hand. By today evening, will you still have 500 in your hand? No, you will spend it somewhere. Correct na? Or you may get more money from somewhere. It cannot remain same. It will keep on changing. Example of what asset? Current asset. Bank balance, debtor, stock, receivables. Right now, you have given money to a friend. You have lent money to a friend. He is going to pay you back within some time. Hopefully, he pays you back. Right now, these are all examples of what? Current assets. What you need to understand? Non-current assets, big assets which will remain for a larger period of time. Current assets, shorter period of time, shorter values. Clear? Third thing, fictitious assets. The name is self-explanatory. Fictitious, which is not in reality happening. Now, I gave you two characteristics of an assets. You should own it. You should be able to sell it, or as I use the word, convert it into liquid money in the market. If you go to the market and sell it, people should be ready to buy it. If these two characteristics are fulfilled, it is your asset. Right? You should own it. गाँव का नहीं होना चाहिए, चोरी का नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be your own. Second, गाँव में बेचने जाओ तो somebody should be able to pay you some money for it. Right? My marker pen. Right? I have purchased, I've got a bill of it, DOMS, around about 25 rupees it costed me, right? I have a bill of it, but I go to the market to sell it. Is anybody interested to buy this? यूज़ किया हुआ पेन है, 25 में दूसरा मिलता, मैं आपका क्यों खरीदूँ? मतलब, I own it. Can I sell it? No. Fictitious assets. What that is what? Out of the two characteristics, one you can follow, the second does not come. You own it, but you cannot convert it into liquid money. I'll give you a real life example for you people. You people must be having a mobile. Out of you, many of you must be using a prepaid card. Right? You got a prepaid card. The problem with the prepaid card is you have to recharge it. Fine. You have recharged it. But the problem is, in your hostel there is no connectivity. Right? So you are planning to shift from Vodafone to Jio. Now you have got balance in your Vodafone SIM card. You call up Vodafone people, भाई तेरा नेटवर्क नहीं आ रहा है यहाँ पे, I want to convert it into Jio, बराबर 250 रुपया पड़ा हुआ है, please refund it to me. Will they repay you? No. What will they say? Use कर लो. बाकी उसमें पैसा रिटर्न आता नहीं है. You own it. यूज़ कर लो. 1 साल का वैलिडिटी है, 1 महीने का वैलिडिटी है, जितना जीबी है पूरा का पूरा तुमको यूज़ कर लो. I will not stop you. Please use it. But don't ask money. I am not going to give you money for the same. Example of what I said, fictitious assets. In business, sometimes what happens, so far I give you real life examples, now let me give some business examples. You are paid a large chunk of money for certain expenses, advertisement expenses, but you are not getting any benefit out of it. And or else you are expecting that you will get the benefit in couple of years, 3-4 years down the lane. For example, you have done a big advertisement expenditure costing 4 lakh rupees. And the benefit of that you are going to get in 4 years. So what years our mind say, let me average it out. 4 lakhs, 4 years, every year expense 1 lakh. Then what about the remaining 3 lakhs? I have paid in advance. What I have done? I have paid it in advance. What is it for me? Prepaid expense, which is not going to be refunded, a fictitious asset. The opposite of fictitious is real. Those assets which are not fictitious are considered as what? Real assets. Fictitious, real. Real में है, real में नहीं है. जो real में है वो real assets, जो real में नहीं है वो fictitious assets. जो ये real है बेटा, it is including these two things. Non-current, current are a part of what? Real assets also. They are all different parts of the same family. Similarly, another two names, tangible and intangible. Example of tangible, let me give to you the example of tangible. Land, building, plant, machinery, furniture. These all are tangible assets. Goodwill, patent, trademark, copyright. These are all examples of intangible assets. Let me add one more thing over here which I'll explain to you later. Royalty. Correct na? Which are all examples of what beta? Intangible. What's the difference between land and goodwill? Both your assets. Land you can see, touch, feel. You can see the piece of land, building, machinery. You can't see goodwill. patent, trademark, copyright. These are the assets which you own, but you cannot feel, you cannot see and touch. They are known as what assets? Intangible assets. Correct? Those which you can see, they are tangible. Those which you cannot see are intangible. Now one more thing, let me clarify very clearly to you. Goodwill, patent, trademark, copyright are intangible, non-current assets. Intangible and what assets? Non-current assets. In the previous video, if you remember, I have clearly indicated two types of assets, which were those non-current and current. Remaining all are small parts which are somehow included inside the same assets. Clear? This is our category or definition of different types of assets. The opposite of asset is liability. Opposite of asset is liability. What is liability? If you owe money to anybody, कोई तुमसे अगर पैसा मांग रहा है, then it is your liability. Right? अगर कोई तुमसे पैसा मांगे, तुम्हारा liability. तुम किसी से पैसा मांगो, your asset. One line difference for you. You have taken a bank loan to start your business. You have taken money from a venture capitalist, right? Na? Private equity holder. All these things are what for us, beta? Our liability. We have to repay to them. You have purchased goods on credit. तुमने उधारी में माल लिया मार्केट से. You have not yet paid. You have to pay to them on a later stage. That person is known as your creditor and he is your current liability. What is credit? Who is a creditor, beta? The person from whom you have purchased goods on credit and you have to pay them back. तुमने माल खरीदा, पैसा देना बाकी है, वो तुमसे पैसा मांग रहा है. So what it is for us? Current liability and the person is known as whom, beta? Creditor. Debtor कौन था बेटा? Opposite. We have sold goods to him on credit and we have to collect money from him. Purchase goods and we have to pay. मतलब क्या हुआ? मैंने A के पास से goods खरीदा, उसको बोला भाई I'll pay you in 2 months. वो goods मैंने B को बेचा, उसको बोल दिया, वो बोलता है वो मुझे 1 महीने में पैसा देगा. A my creditor, B my debtor. A मेरे सर पे खड़ा है, क्यों? वो मुझसे पैसा मांग रहा है, ला मेरा पैसा. मैं B के सर पे खड़ा हूँ, क्यों? मैं उससे पैसा मांग रहा हूँ. वो मेरा कौन हो गया बेटा? डेटर. क्रेडिटर, मी, डेटर. डेटर पैसा देगा, वो पैसा मैं क्रेडिटर को दूंगा. दिस इज अ बिजनेस साइकिल. दिस इज व्हाट बेटा? अ बिजनेस साइकिल. क्लियर? Now liability divided into two parts. Again, current liability, non-current liability. Similar differentiation. If it is for less than 1 year, you have to pay within 1 year. Current liability, if you have to pay after 1 year, non-current liability. Example of current liability: creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft. These all are examples of outstanding expenses. Electricity bill आ गया, तुमने पे नहीं किया. Canteen का bill आ गया, तुमने पे नहीं किया. हॉस्टल का बिल आ गया, तुमने पे नहीं किया. दैट इज ऑल योर करंट लाइबिलिटी. बैंक लोन लिया है, बरोबर ने, किसके लिए? बिल्डिंग के लिए, फर्नीचर खरीदने के लिए, एसेट्स खरीदने के लिए. दे आर योर नॉन करंट लाइबिलिटीज. एग्जाम्पल ऑफ वन मोर नॉन करंट लाइबिलिटी इज व्हाट? डिबेंचर्स. अगेन आई विल मार्क आउट सर्टेन पॉइंट, जैसे जैसे मुझे याद आता जाएगा मैं एक्सप्लेन करता जाऊंगा. डिबेंचर्स दैट वी हैव टू डिस्कस. बिल्स रिसीवेबल, bills payable, right? I'll get back to it as and when it comes. But right now, what are debentures for us, beta? Our non-current liability, because debentures are to be repaid at a longer period of time, not at a shorter time. You have to repay it in a longer period of time. Okay? That's all for now.